You're watching Justified by Jury, and in today's episode of the TLC series, we will detail the life and career of Rozonda Chilli Thomas, one-third of TLC, the biggest selling girl group in American history. We're not only going to uncover the many highs and lows of her personal life, but also explore her acting career, solo music endeavors, reality shows, and health and fitness efforts, as Ms Chilli-Bean can do it all. If there are any other artists whose triumph stories you would like to see covered on this channel, please leave your suggestions in the comments below. Let's get started. Born Rozonda O'Cillian Thomas on February 27, 1971 in Columbus, Georgia, she was quite unique in many different ways. A precious little thing, her first words as a baby were, "I love you," to the best of her ability. And she was always mumbling tunes, trying her best to harmonize. Another thing that set her apart was her multiracial identity. Her father, Abdul Ali, was of Bangladeshi and Arab descent, but she had never met him. Her mother, Ava Thomas, was black with some native ancestry down the line, but Ava had a terrible relationship with her own mother, due to the anger that her mother harbored towards Ava's father. And her mother would take her anger out on Ava, and often referred to Rozonda, her grandchild, as a half-breed. Before too long, Ava would take her child and move in with her grandmother, Rozonda's great-grandmother, who they called Big Mama. And together they'd raise Rozonda, though her being mixed would continue to be the topic of conversation throughout her childhood. Kids would see her naturally wavy hair and try to humble her, letting it be known that she ain't better than anybody else. Matter of fact, let's make her feel inadequate for being mixed. In an interview with Sister to Sister, she said, "My childhood was crazy because I was like surviving, trying to live, because the kids used to always try to beat me up. You know how it is. You're in the projects and I was always called the half-breed. I was always fighting girls and boys too. I didn't get no peace until I went to high school. When I was in the 8th grade, these girls who were in the 7th grade even tried to spray mace on me." And it didn't help that the other side of her racial identity, the part that made her different, was the part that she couldn't connect fully with due to her father not being in the picture, and to her knowing very little about him. But in the midst of her constantly being tormented and ostracized, she'd tap into her talents. She began singing at her local Seventh-day Adventist church every Sabbath, and also put together little singing skits on the side with her cousins. She was inspired by jazz music and R&B soul classics, from the likes of Michael Franks to the likes of Phyllis Hyman. She had two big dreams growing up. One was to be a singer, the other was to be a mother. She would spend many days performing jingles in the mirror pretending she was famous, and would turn around, put a pillow under her shirt, and walk around the house pretending she was pregnant. As time went on, she had also become skilled at breakdancing, and even won a local talent show where she had to breakdance to Cyndi Lauper's Girls Just Want to Have Fun. She would move to Atlanta, where she graduated from Benjamin E. Mays High School in 1989. After that, she'd attend Georgia Southern University, where she pursued communication arts with a minor in business management. She also worked part-time as a sales rep for Rich's department store. By now, her dreams of becoming a star seemed far-fetched, and she set her sights on what seemed more attainable, the fashion industry. She had hopes of possibly becoming a fashion consultant, or even a buyer for a major chain like Neiman Marcus. But major opportunities were just around the corner for Rozonda, when a friend told her about auditions to become a background dancer for the R&B duo Damian Dame. At the same time, she received an offer to manage a store. Intrigued, she would do both the interview for the store and attend the dance audition, where she wowed the judges and was chosen after her second audition. You see, at this point, she had grown into her stunning good looks and was turning heads left and right, a far cry from her early days of torment at the hands of damn near everyone. Either way, she stood out. Her looks paired with her superb dancing abilities made Damian Dame and the people at their label, LaFace, take note of her. The co-owner of their label, L.A. Reid, was married to a popular singer named Pebbles, who was managing a new girl group called TLC, with members Tion, Lisa, and Crystal. But Crystal had just been dropped from the act, and the group were in search of a new member. They had flown girls in from around the nation to audition for them. One of the girls being Stacy from the R&B pop duo Stacy and Kimiko. But Tion and Lisa weren't just looking for any cute girl that could hold a tune. They needed chemistry with whoever was going to be the third member of their group. Once Pebbles heard of this beautiful background dancer named Rozonda, she'd stop by the dance studio to check her out.
Pebbles came to check everybody out at rehearsals, and she asked me to come back to her office, and I met the girls, and it's been like that ever since.
Pebbles had heard from it through her husband, L.A., because he works with Damian Dame, and he informed her about it, so she already knew about her.
She knew, but I didn't know about the TLC and everything.
Pebbles knew.
Yeah.
When I saw her, I knew that she was that link that I needed.
After an impromptu audition on the spot, Rozonda was brought to the other girls and they clicked almost instantly, even canceling all future auditions as they knew they had their girl. Tionna was very cool and edgy, bringing the funk. Lisa brought the creativity and the raps, and Rozonda represented straight R&B, bringing the steamy, spicy flavor to the group. So much so that after Lisa had moved in with Rozonda during the artist development process, she would nickname her Chili Sauce. Now around this time, Belle Biv DeVoe member Michael Bivins told Lisa that he was attracted to her left eye, as it was more slanted than her right, and so Rozonda began calling her Left Eye as a joke. But as a part of an act named TLC, each letter had to stand for something.
And she started teasing me, your left eye, your left eye. I was like, all right. You know, so I started calling her Chili Sauce. And about a week later, we were sitting in the office, and our manager said, okay, I want everybody to write down their names, their stage names, their date of birth, and everything for a bio. And my name was QT. And I crossed it out. I said, if I'm the L in TLC, it's going to confuse people to be Lisa and QT. And I said, left eye. That starts with an L. Perfect.
My real name is Rozonda. TLR, not happening. So I had to get a nickname, and Chili, that was it.
You know, it took us a while to find her, right? Well, not that long. No, not long at all. But I mean, after a while, we decided if we didn't find anybody, we would be Tionna and Ms Chilli-Bean.
Okay.
How we did? Yeah. So we met her, and I was like, chillin', chili, hot pepper.
And after the group's official audition for L.A. Reid, they were signed as T-Boz, meaning Tionna is the boss, Left Eye for Lisa, and Rozonda, now going by Chili, TLC. And it was a beautiful thing. Rozonda was in, and you could see her dreams were finally coming true. This new chapter of her life was going to make up for all the adversity she faced in the past. But with great power came great responsibility, and her good looks almost became her undoing. You see, Pebbles had that old school manager mentality, and worked these girls to the bone to perfect their craft as a unit. But she was also said to have been particularly hard on Chili, as she was the quote-unquote pretty girl of the group, and also had a bit of a flirtatious personality. But Pebbles, who was a knockout herself, had been in this industry for a minute now, and didn't want Chili or the others being perceived as loose or being taken advantage of. But due to Chili's past, she was very sensitive to criticism, and Pebbles didn't let up.
In the booth once when we were working on Hat to the Back, and Pebbles embarrassed me so bad. So, you know, I'm sitting up here like tears in my eyes. I'm about to break, like, Hat to the Back. I gotta get out. Like, I was so embarrassed. I was just like, dang, man. Humiliation.
Head to the back, not a place to go.
I gotta keep my pants down real low.
I would go back and pull a little Chili to the side. I would tell her to not listen to the person that was in her ear, breaking her down. You're bigger than that, you're stronger than that. She doesn't, and she knows that, and that is why she's doing that to you. And that's the only thing I would say. You know, everything else I would want to happen to say.
Tionna was her favorite in the group. She really did favor her. And Lisa and I would just get it, just different ways. You know what I'm saying? She was very manipulative, like would say, make us feel like, you know, one is the favorite. And then, I don't know what she used to say to you, but, you know, she used to say that to Lisa as well, because we talked about it. And I was just like, golly, it was really tough. You know what I'm saying? Really, really tough. And it took me a long time.
He probably took her the longest, but she used to mess with her.
It seemed like she didn't like you at all. She kicked you out the group.
Yeah, I got kicked out.
Chili soon found comfort in the arms of TLC's main producer, Dallas Austin, who had a reputation for being a player. But Chili was completely smitten with him, and the two began secretly dating. But once Pebbles found out, she gave Dallas a verbal lashing, but had Chili removed from the group. Just like that. She told Tionna and Lisa to get back out there and look for another member. But they couldn't find anyone that fit the TLC mold and chemistry the way that Chili did, and they would beg Pebbles to let her back in the group. And she eventually gave Chili her job back. But Chili had been seeing Dallas in the meantime, and once she was back in the group, she found out that she was pregnant with his baby. She was excited because she always wanted to be a mom, but she was terrified because this put her job in jeopardy. She thought to herself, well, we wear baggy clothes, maybe I could hide the baby bump, and tried coming up with different ideas on how she could keep the baby. But the reality was that Pebbles had just let her back into the group, and the woman that she originally replaced, Crystal, was a single mother. And according to Crystal, this had caused problems with her and management. So when TLC began holding auditions for that new member, among the many requirements was that you couldn't have no babies. Chilli was now faced with the toughest decision of her life. See, putting fashion and her degree on hold to chase her dream in music was one thing, but having to choose between motherhood and music was quite another. And Dallas wasn't really all that consoling. He was kinda like, if you're gonna keep the child, it's gonna affect your career more than mine. But if you want to terminate the pregnancy, I'll give you the money to have it done. Chilli always wanted to be a mom, and sacrificing the most precious gift of motherhood was almost too much for her to bear, but she reluctantly and regrettably did it anyways.
One of the biggest mistakes,
Why was it the biggest mistake?
because I didn't want to do that.
Did you feel forced?
I'm 20. My career hadn't even really started, so how do I do all that?
Yeah.
How can I be a mommy? It messed me up. I don't know. It broke my spirit. I became I don't know, kind of like not my strong self anymore. I felt like I gave in and I broke to what someone else wanted. And I would break down and I would just cry. Because I wasn't a mommy.
I just got back in the group, so I was scared. And I was like, oh my God, then, I might get kicked out again. And it was just really crazy and a lot of different emotions. And it was just very hard for me to do what I did. I did not want to do that. So it haunted me. So, that's when I became obsessive almost, like looking at a baby commercial with Huggies, I cried. You know what I mean? Because I felt horrible.
Over the next 4 years, TLC would break onto the scene, releasing their platinum-selling debut album, Ooh on the TLC Tip, and their diamond-selling sophomore album, Crazy Sexy Cool, which catapulted the group to global superstardom, and they reached heights that no girl group had ever seen up to that point. Each member stood out in their own unique ways, and when it came to Ms Chilli, man, her smooth, melodic vocals took over most of the group's bridges and harmonies.
Don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the licks that you're used to. I know your way. Oh, you're moving too fast.
But ultimately, it was her allure that had all the fellas wanting to be with her and all the ladies wanting to be her. And the same hair that she was teased for having as a child would itself become a cultural icon. Anytime somebody black mentioned baby hairs, they referenced Chilli's famous baby hairs. She was sensational. And though she loved being in a group, she also enjoyed showcasing her individuality. In the music video for their hit song, Creep, the women wore silk pajamas in different colors. But Chilli was the only one to have 2 different colors, featuring several scenes in pink and other scenes that were digitally edited to appear gray, for the aesthetic. On the Waterfalls video, for the lake scenes, Left Eye and T-Boz had on the basic black tops, but Ms Chilli had to step out looking extra bountiful. Okay then. On the Red Light Special video, there were 3 versions, each level raunchier than the last, with the measurements being based on Chilli providing the most steamy imagery, as she was also known for her sensuality, being branded as the sexy member of the Crazy Sexy Cool trio. Whenever they appeared on TV shows or movies together, or even in some interviews, she was the one getting the cat calls, the pickup lines, and the phone numbers.
Baby,
I got this flower for you because, I think you got it going on. Personally, I think you the best in the whole group. They need to let you do everything, you know what I'm saying? Yo, and I want to, groom you so you could do this VJ stuff.
wait till the show.
Come on, sweetie, you being me now. I'm trying to do the first his and her VJ shifts on MTV with me and you because I think me and you make a nice couple, you know what I mean?
Don't look at me like that. You are so fine. Oh, did I blow the mood? Okay,
Yes.
we'll talk. We'll start all over. We'll come back to it. Oh, wait. Oh,
Okay.
but we can't run out of time.
She could have any man that she wanted to. That was actual and factual. But like most it girls, who all the men are chasing after, she gave her heart to a man who treated her like just another option, as Dallas kept a nice rotation of women. But Chilli continued to deal with him for years, though the relationship drama was the least of her problems. She had fought so hard for this dream of singing, and it seemed like every time she looked up, something or someone had the potential to take it all away. TLC's manager had allegedly been declining endorsements on the group's behalf and was stingy with releasing funds to the group. But as time went on, TLC developed an incessant need for more control over their careers, which led to another tough decision being made.
We took a meeting and we just told her we didn't no longer want to be with her.
But she didn't want to leave. She wanted to, just work things out. Let's talk about whatever, and we can do this still. We were like, well, we just need to part.
I was very hurt. Very, very extremely hurt.
They had to give Pebbles a costly $3 million to buy back their namesake, and they did. But they were also still signed to her production company, so she was still making money off of them.
Even though she didn't do anything, she would still retain the rights to collect money, future monies from TLC. She didn't have to work on the next TLC record.
Between that and the label taking a huge cut from their paychecks, before our taxes took a huge chunk of the rest, before they knew it, they had sold over 10 million records and had absolutely nothing to show for it, forcing them to file for bankruptcy.
We are the biggest selling female group ever. 10 million albums. We have worked very hard. We have been in this business for 5 years. And we are broke as broke can be.
Also, Left Eye's continuous ups and downs and her highly publicized rocky relationship to Falcons wide receiver Andre Rison resulted in the accidental torching of his $1 million mansion. Her doing this at a time where the group's public image was everything sent Chilli into a panic. She felt that another tough decision would have to be made in order to keep the group from going under. Chilli said in an interview with People magazine that she had told Tionna at the time, "We're just going to have to find another group member." She even told Lisa that she told Tionna that. She was furious. But after her anger died down, she and T-Boz would go to the hotel that Lisa was hiding out at immediately after the fire and would console her. Ultimately, Lisa received probation for the incident and paid many fines. TLC would negotiate better business contracts and get their money right. And by 1996, they were on top of the world. Chilli would also earn a spot on People magazine's 50 Most Beautiful People in 1996. Chilli, who had all these accolades and accomplishments, felt an empty void from not having her father in her life. She had mentioned wanting to find him in many interviews throughout TLC's 5-year career at this point.
One of my biggest dreams is I want to find my daddy, my real father. Just to find him because I know I have one and maybe he's still alive and I probably have sisters and brothers that I don't, and I just kind of want to see him.
One of the producers up at the popular Sally Jessy Raphael show saw this clip and decided to have their team assist Chilli and her then manager, Denise Howard, in finding Chilli's father, Abdul Ali, who is now married with more kids and wasn't aware that he had a celebrity daughter.
That's my daddy, y'all. It's the greatest time.
Who got him the daddy hat?
He already had the daddy hat. He told me he was going to have his daddy hat on.
So, Chilli, you got to meet your dad. You told us it gets better?
Yeah, it gets much better. Where's my sister? Uh-oh, we're flexing there. I see where I get my muscles from my daddy.
Oh, it's so cute.
She said, you have a sister. And when Dad was in the service, from a while back, I said, well, who is she? When are we going to meet her? I was fine with it right away. Right away. And we all were, we're a big family, big loving family. And if there's another member of our family, bring her on in.
Is it a good family? We need to know.
It's a great family.
Good family. Growing up and everything, I always wanted to find my father. It was just always something missing. And when you hear people say it's always something missing, if you don't know, it really is.
It is.
You just wonder, well, what's going on? Why do I act like this? And when I met all of them, it just all came together, and I feel so home.
At 25 years old, she was able to embrace her long-lost family and heal that part of her past, but still felt tremendous guilt behind her decision to terminate her pregnancy years back. And those feelings only magnified when Dallas had a baby by another woman during he and Chilli's on-again, off-again relationship.
I cried almost every day for almost 9 years. And then I was caught up. I had to have the baby. And I had to fix it. And the only way I could fix it was with that person. I could only have this baby with him because the baby that I didn't have was with him.
During TLC's hiatus from music, Chilli became pregnant by Dallas, resulting in the birth of their son, Tron Austin, in June of 1997. And when I tell you, Chilli was over the moon about her son. He became her entire world. And while Tion and Left Eye were spotted frequently in the public eye, Chilli was at the house, tending to her baby and loving every minute of it. And when TLC geared up to record their third album, Fan Mail, in the fall and winter of 1998, her son was by her side every step of the way. For this project, Chilli had more opportunity to shine vocally than on previous TLC albums. However, when it was time to get rowdy on some of the records, Chilli liked to keep it classy, like on the promo single called I'm Good at Being Bad, that had sort of a yin and yang vibe to it, where half the song was peaceful and melodic with gentle lyrics, where the other half is loud and crunk with vulgar lyrics. And apparently they got this idea from that Janet Jackson song called What About. Both songs were produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Chilli said that on this song, Tion and Lisa were really excited about saying, I need a crump type N-word, and all that kind of stuff. I was just like, guys, I'm not saying all that. I'll hold down the pretty parts of the song. The whole song is jamming, but I just don't like saying the N-word. In contrast, Tion wasn't here for any of the pretty parts of another song called I Miss You So Much, where she said, Chilli ended up doing this as a solo song because it's just too pretty for me. I was too rough and rugged for that at the time. I don't want to talk about missing nobody. But she sounded amazing, and it was totally up her alley. It really highlighted her as a singer. Also for this album, Chilli would lay all lead vocals for the lead single, No Scrubs, which was something that she hadn't done on previous hit singles. She said, I come and put the pretty on the song, so to speak. Tion's voice is edgy. Mine is very angelic. We can tell whose voice will be better for what. With No Scrubs, it wasn't even about who was going to do it. We knew automatically that, yeah, I got this one. I kind of bring that pop feel. Everyone has their role. The song No Scrubs will become one of the biggest hits of 1999. And for the music video, Chilli would once again be an individual, okay? As both T-Boz and Left Eye were caked up in pink and blue makeup. The plan was to have Chilli in orange makeup, but she ain't want to do all that, so she rode without it. But her on that swing was so iconic for its time. This video was everywhere. No Scrubs won endless awards, and Chilli got the last laugh at those who teased her in her freshman year of high school.
Well, I never heard the term scrub. Did you before the song?
Well, you know, when I was in 9th grade, I was new and all. They called me a scrub. They called me scrubs back then.
And it was also cool that around this time, TLC teamed up with rap group Goody Mob for a music video called What It Ain't. And Chilli went to high school with 3 of them. The album Fan Mail would sell millions, but it had many setbacks just before its official release. While both Tion and Chilli enjoyed their fair share of vocal highlights from the project, Left Eye's initial contributions didn't align with the overall vision that the label and producers had for this album. And out of all 8 tracks that she submitted for the project, all 8 would be denied. This led her to send their label, LaFace, a letter saying that she was quitting the group, an action that temporarily froze all the group's finances before she later changed her mind, which Chilli later said was the most evil, selfish, heartless thing that anybody could ever do. Throughout this time, Left Eye started showing out, pulling antics at almost every opportunity because she was fed up with the label giving them very little control 8 years into their career. However, she didn't notify the girls ahead of time of all the stunts that she would pull, all of which affected the group's finances. And with Chilli being a mother this time around, she had more to think about than just pride and ego. She couldn't afford to go barging into the label head's office making demands like how they did on the previous era. Chilli was very much a team player, as everything she did she wanted to be for the betterment of the group, but she also needed a stable and controlled environment. It was like, we fought hard to keep this dream alive. I understand you want to be heard, but damn it, let's do it the right way. But for Left Eye, she felt the only way the higher-ups were going to get right is if I show my behind. So during the Fan Mail era, she and Chilli clashed the most. TLC would keep it together for the Fan Mail tour, though the first leg was off to a rocky start. But the second half of the tour, they really came together and put on phenomenal performance after performance, with sold-out arenas and rave reviews. And you best believe 2-year-old Tron was right along there with his mommy. Chilli said that Tron was a tour baby, and that he had his first passport as early as 6 months.
Even before I had my son, I've always been a mother. I'm just a mama. Like, point blank, you know, I'm the one who's sensitive. I bring the sensitivity.
Along with the sensuality, another thing that this sensual woman showcased the most was sensitivity. And when I tell you Ms Chilli-Bean was sensitive, and she needed that verbal reassurance from time to time.
She will help you out with your problems. She can make you feel good about yourself, and she's very affectionate. But just on the same time, she's the type of person who would want that love and affection back. If she's sick, you gotta baby her and pamper her and touch her. I'm serious. That's Chilli. I mean, but she gives it. 1 week before I met the lovely Tabone. And then we were together for, 5 months before we met Pebbles. And then we ended up losing one of the members in the group, which wasn't me or Tabone. And then, 2 months later, Rozonda came on board. And later became Chilli.
What happened to the lovely?
Oh, the lovely Rozonda. The lovely Rozonda came on board.
You guys did somewhat use sex to sell. You know, there was the Vibe cover where you guys were topless and, you know, covering up your breasts.
No, that wasn't a cover, sir.
One thing she didn't play about was her group. And in my last documentary, I detailed the drama behind No Pigeons, which was the male rebuttal to No Scrubs, which Chilli was not a fan of at all. She told Billboard that there are so many songs that are negative towards women, and you don't hear a lot of females saying, we've got to go do an anti-version of that one. So it's funny that you have these guys that want to flip No Scrubs real quick. They can't take the heat.
We've started some junk.
I'm telling you, we have almost like a war between men and women.
Is that what you meant to do in the first place?
No, it's the truth. I mean, Scrubs is a word that came back from generation to generation and just brought it back. But I mean, it's the truth.
I have to say this, only the Scrubs are upset.
Chilli wasn't fond of any personal criticisms either, and it took her some time to break out of the TLC bubble. She did guest feature on a song aptly titled Spread My Wings by an R&B quartet that Dallas Austin founded, called Vega. Unfortunately, this beautiful song and its accompanying album would be shelved. Now, Chilli did try her hand at a little solo acting before she had her son, but when asked about her plans, she always tied everything back to the group.
See, she put me on the spot. My role is Alexis, and it's a comedy. It's a love comedy. It's really funny, and Omar and I are best friends. It's a mess. It's gonna be really funny, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm very excited about it.
So is acting your next move?
It's TLC's next move.
But it was important for her to branch out on her own in order to grow. She had appeared in the movie Have Plenty, but only sharing a small cameo scene with Lauryn Hill, Nia Long, Mekhi Phifer, and Shamar Moore.
Excuse me, Harold, baby, it was me. I tried to kiss him. He didn't do nothing. Tell me it was me. I tried to kiss him. Baby.
But after the fan mail era wrapped in 2000, it was her time to shine, gracing the cover of Young and Modern magazine, where she ate everybody up. She'd appear in 3 films that year: Snow Day as Nona, Love Song with R&B singer Monica, and also alongside Vanessa Williams in A Diva's Christmas Carol, where she performed an original song with her fictional girl group called Heartquake. She'd appear in another film called Ticker, released the following year, and around this time she also appeared in the Outkast video for So Fresh So Clean, and also began working on her own solo album. And with both Left Eye and T-Boz already having solo success of their own on the music charts, people were excited to see what Chilli had to offer the world. She had worked primarily with Dallas for this project, but not much else is known about the music she recorded for it, and it was speculated that they kept it hush-hush due to the rise of Napster and people leaking unreleased music. In the meantime, her on-again, off-again romance with Dallas was coming to an end. For years she wanted his commitment, and by the time he was good and ready to settle down, she didn't want it no more. She was tapped to appear as Usher's love interest in the music video for his hit, You Remind Me, and the on-air chemistry the two had eventually blossomed into a full-on relationship.
Hey, this is Chilli. How y'all doing? We are on the set of Usher's video, You Remind Me. And can I ask you a question? You know, like, why did you choose me to be your video?
Well, I mean, ain't it obvious? You're like the most beautiful woman walking.
I have to say, you know, I don't normally dress like this, but I said,
that's
only
why
for
I
you.
put her in my video.
Only for you, Usher.
There, man.
You know, I usually don't show all this little stuff and everything, but for you, this time. Okay. All right, but keep it.
All right, well, y'all just stick
All right.
around, and I hope you enjoy it. We got a video to shoot. Thank you, peace.
Bye.
She would go on to appear in the music video for his next single, You Got It Bad, with her image being used in the following video for You Don't Have to Call. They made for a beautiful couple, and their relationship in the public eye was the perfect PR situation, as everyone loved seeing them together. They were plastered everywhere. Usher got along great with Tron, and Chilli got along great with Usher's mother. The only person who didn't like seeing them together was Dallas.
Were you so mad when she started dating Usher? Were you jealous?
I wanted to kill everybody because obviously I was friends with Usher too, and I'm going mad because I'm like, hold on, I got a kid. That's my girl. That's the kid. That's that other. And so I went through this whole year of thinking that it was the worst year of my life.
Chilli decided to put the album that she and Dallas were working on back burner for now, as TLC were making preparations to go in and record their 4th album.
Actually, TLC is in the studio recording for our 4th album right now. Chilli is going to release a solo project. She's going to wait until after the TLC album, and T-Boz, she is thinking about doing one. But no, everything's good. Everything's good. You know, sometimes you never know which way things are going to go, but fortunately, you know, we're actually happy to be back in the studio.
On April 24th, 2002, Sally Jessy Raphael would film her final farewell episode as her nearly 20-year talk show was coming to an end. Chilli would fly out to New York on this special day to pop up and surprise Sally, to thank her and the team for forever changing her life, and to give exciting updates on her family, her love life, and TLC's new album.
How is TLC? We're doing good. We are in the studio now, TLC. For the record, TLC never broke up. We have our issues.
I was gonna ask, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We never broke up. Lisa is in the group. Okay. You know, everybody's doing good. We'll have a single out this summer, and we're finishing up, so I'm so excited.
Are you going out with Usher now?
Well, I have to say, it's the first time I have ever admitted it, but yes, we are.
We like that. Oh, I am so pleased. Are you happy?
I'm very. Can't you tell?
Yeah, you're just glowing.
But on April 25th, Lisa Left Eye Lopez would lose her life in a car accident that took place in the country of Honduras. TLC's manager would call Chilli first and give her the devastating news that she then had to relay to T-Boz over the phone. They kept hoping it was a cruel joke and that Lisa wasn't really gone, but by sunrise the next morning, word was everywhere, and both T-Boz and Chilli had to make the painstaking task of phoning in to MTV, BET, and VH1.
Now, ladies, please accept our condolences. And thank you for joining us. It's released a statement today saying that this truly is like losing a sister. I would imagine that's exactly what it felt like for years now, right?
Well, yeah. It's our sister. We are sisters. We've been together for over 10 years. We were devastated, and we're still devastated. I mean, it's just really hard to believe.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of different reports about exactly what happened. Do you have any confirmed reports?
At this time, this is T-Boz. We really don't like to talk about that right now because it's a little bit too hard for us.
Right.
All right. Usher was calling into different stations as well. He had known all 3 members of TLC for years, so Lisa's death really affected him greatly as well.
This was not expected from any of us, and I know that the industry is going to continue to be affected just as well as when Aaliyah's death struck all of us. Yeah. And what it teaches us is just not to take life for granted, and those opportunities that you have to tell those people who you really love, you love them, take advantage of it, because if I could, I would.
Though Usher was there to comfort Chilli, she had never felt pain like this before. She kept referring to Lisa in present tense because she couldn't bring herself to grasp the concept of speaking about her in any other way. She kept having dreams where Lisa would appear and tell her, "Girl, it's all good, I'm still here, it was a mistake, I never left," only for her to wake up and be faced with the reality that it did happen. She couldn't listen to the radio, didn't want to go to the malls to be harassed with questions, none of that. But her and T-Boz had to fight the label, who were urging them to either finish and put out this new album or we'll craft together our own greatest hits album. So just 2 weeks after Lisa's funeral, they were back in the studio and didn't get any time to properly grieve. Chilli said in a July Vibe magazine article, "It's been so hard for me and Tion. I don't even know what to do with myself. Sometimes I'm okay, then I break down. Half the time I'm in denial about it. I miss and love her so much. You never get over something like this. It's something we gotta deal with forever because we have to continue to work. TLC still goes on. Tionna and I are still working in the studio, and Lisa's already on songs. The whole album is dedicated to her. Lisa and I clicked real quick. She immediately moved into my house and we lived together for like 2 months. I was waking up and going to sleep with this girl every day. It's like the love started right there for me. That's why everything that we've ever gone through, even during the difficult times, it's like there was never love lost. When I was over at Lisa's mom's house after her death, just seeing her broke my heart. All I was able to ask her was if she wanted something to eat. Other than that, I was scared and just felt uncomfortable. I mean, it's sad when anything happens to anybody, but it's like I just never ever thought in a million years it would be this.
There was nobody there but us two. And it seemed like she almost fainted because her daughter wasn't there, so.
I could only imagine what she was going through, you know, and I knew how much pain we were in, and she was our sister. You know, I felt really bad for her because I just didn't know how do you handle something like that? How do you handle losing your child?
Hard because it's such a reality check because it's only 2 of us up here.
You know, I'm glad that I'm able to represent the group and that, you know, everyone is so nice and making me feel so comfortable because I do feel uncomfortable because, you know, they're not here with me right now. And so, you know, I know that Lisa is happy to know about that plaque. You know, I wish she was really here to see it, and she is going to be happy, but it's a lot to carry. And, you know, so I'm just trying my best.
TLC released their 4th album, 3D, in November of 2002, which contained 4 songs with Lisa on there, one of which was called Over Me, that featured young Tron on there as well. As Chilli's now 5-year-old son was tapping into his own love for music. He'd appear in the music video for the album's lead single, Girl Talk, as well as T-Boz's young daughter, Chase. This would be the first video without Lisa, and it would highlight the group's new reality. And things weren't so sweet in Chilli's love life either, going into 2003. Her and Usher were looking good and keeping up appearances, but behind closed doors, they had many disagreements. Among them was Chilli's incessant need to control the situation. Chilli, who previously dated the player, found herself wanting a certain level of control in knowing her man's every move. But dating a male celebrity in his prime, with a schedule as busy as hers, there were many times that she had to deal with not knowing everything all the time.
I had just gotten out of a really long off and on relationship, and I think a lot of times we don't realize that when you're in a relationship for a very long time and you're over it, you're over the person, but it doesn't mean you're not over all the stuff that you allowed yourself to go through.
Sure.
And so I had baggage, you know, so I had baggage kind of going into the relationship, and then, you know, it was just a combination of things. But as far as our personalities, you know, just, you know, how we are and how he is as a person, how I am, that part was fine.
So it's timing.
It's timing.
Usher even tried to propose to Chilli at one point, but she shot him down, as she knew that they weren't ready. She wanted things to be done the right way because she didn't want things to end in divorce. But before too long, they decided to part ways amicably. Yet and still, things got messy.
I want to read you the latest rumor about you and Usher.
And they hit me with the Usher single now. And I'm like, damn, I didn't know we were like telling everybody yet. So I was just trying to keep it cool, and then I just lost it.
Let me set the record straight. Usher did the ultimate no-no to me, and I will never be with him ever again. Someone cheats one time, you don't wait around to see if they're going to do it again. So there is no Usher and Chilli, and it will never be Usher and Chilli again. He did the ultimate no-no. You don't do that, and he did that, and I'll never take him back. So it's a done deal. He killed it. He did. He really did.
Usher called the radio show to defend himself.
Let me just set the record straight, all right? Me and Chilli never broke up because of me cheating on her, okay?
When pressed about the true reason behind their split, both parties didn't elaborate beyond, "we just couldn't get along." This all went down in January of 2004, right after New Year's. And by March of 2004, Usher would drop the biggest album of his career, Confessions, and among its multitude of award-winning hits came the title track. Well, part 2, which detailed a man cheating on his girl and having to come clean once the other girl ends up pregnant. Naturally, people assumed that this was about he and Chilli's relationship. Everyone wanted to know who the mystery woman was, and how Chilli felt about it. But Usher was evasive in interviews, kinda letting things marinate while the record sales went up.
The album Confessions is not about me.
not one lyric on that CD has anything to do with me. We were together when he recorded, and I remember saying to him, babe, I mean, you gonna write a song about me? You know, and so, I mean, because, you know, I do have fans coming up, you know, I guess they feel sorry for me. They think because they're believing this, but I am fine. I am over it. I've been over it. I wish him well. I don't have any hard feelings, and it's funny because he is the one who continues to talk about it. So obviously, he needs to get over it because I don't talk about it because, you know, I'm over it. And it irks me. It really does. I'm serious.
What irks you the most?
It's almost just kind of like allowing people to assume and not correcting it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even with the whole thing, oh, did he get somebody pregnant? Is that why they broke? No, that was not the case. Our time was up.
Usher ended up putting out a special edition of the album, which contained a remix to the Confessions remix, and Usher opens the first verse with lyrics that were a direct shot at Chilli, singing, "Baby, I know we said it's best that we don't talk no more, but I gotta get it off my chest about all the ish I've been hearing, babe. I thought that you were ride or die. You would never leave my side. I even made you out to be the woman that I would be with for life. I took in your kid, did everything you wanted me to. Now I'm hearing ish about you fronting on radio interviews. Do it make you feel good to lie, even though I know you want to cry? Hey, if you were going to tell it, then you should have told everything instead of making me the bad guy. If you got nothing good to say, then don't say nothing. Because if I really start talking, it'll be something. So you cheated, I cheated, so be it. We need to leave it alone, move on." Chilli would respond in TLC's 2005 single, I Bet, where she sang, "Since you got so many confessions, why can't you admit that you were stressing me out? I'm just glad I learned my lesson. I can't let you back into my life. I'm so much happier now." And as a fan of both acts, I personally never felt that Confessions was about their relationship. In many ways, their relationship actually reminded me of TLC's song Damaged, when you look at the bigger picture. Y'all be sure to check that song out if you haven't already. But moving into the mid-2000s, Chilli had already racked up a few more TV show appearances, like on That 70s Show, Strong Medicine with Tamara Mowry, a very memorable appearance on The Parkers, and as a judge on the game show Born to Diva, before her and T-Boz would do a reality TV show called Are You the Girl, in search of a female rapper to be featured on their next single and be introduced to the music industry, but never to replace Left Eye in any way. But after the show wrapped, people were like, "Man, what's going on with the music, Chilli? You still ain't put nothing out." And Chilli would enter the studio in 2006 to record a handful of tracks for a solo album, tentatively titled Point of View. One of the songs, Straight Jack, featuring Missy Elliott, would get leaked early on, and they had plans to add Peppa from Salt and Peppa to the finalized version. But due to the leak, the song would be scrapped and instead would go to Nicole Scherzinger for her solo album that would also be scrapped. Chilli would announce that she teamed up with Akon and several producers and artists up at his label, Convict Music, to record a full-length solo album, though she never officially signed with the label, instead going on to start her own label called Tron Music Incorporated, named after her one and only. Her album, now titled Bipolar, was scheduled for a release date of September 2nd, 2008, propelled by the lead single, Dum Dum Dum.
Ropes and mud pies, since I'm a sense mother may I was on this team until he tried me like a lame man, a dum dum dum. Dum dum dum, dum dum dum, dum dum dum, he's a dum dum dum, dum dum dum. You feel the same too, you feel the same, do you? You got that, da-na-na-na, where my kicks at, 'cause you know you got me gliding, gliding, gliding. Shoes. Somebody dropped the ball we got. What you eat don't fill me up. You've come too far to think about giving up. Turn me on. Leave it up to you to turn me on. Baby,
This album contained songs that not only featured her singing, but she had also tried her hand at some rapping, which she hadn't done since TLC's debut album. So fans were equally excited for Chilli's official solo debut, but nothing happened. And most of the music from her 2001 sessions and her 2006 to 2008 sessions remained unreleased and unheard. Those snippets would later appear in shows that we'll get into shortly. But outside of music, or lack thereof, she started her own website called Bags by Chilli after people kept asking her about a handbag that she had, which was basically a blow-up picture of her son. Someone had custom made it for her, and after seeing its profitability, she decided to create a website where women could pick the type of handbag that they wanted, upload a photo or photos that they wanted to be on the bags, and Chilli's team would create the bags with your custom photo and ship it to you. Chilli would also partner with Dasani in 2009. As an avid water drinker, she was trying to encourage the American people to stay hydrated, and you know she had to incorporate her son in the photo shoot, which would be featured in many magazine adverts. And you better believe that Chilli had a special handbag made with these images on it as well. Around 2009 is also when she entered the world of reality TV for the second time, this time for a new show titled The Chilli Project, which was set to document her life as a mother, singer, entrepreneur, etc. And what it evolved into was called What Chilli Wants, a reality TV series that chronicled Chilli's quest to find love with the help of author and relationship coach Tionna Smalls. Not only was Chilli looking for love, but also looking for a husband and hopes to have another baby. The series premiered on VH1 in the spring of 2010 and gave viewers a first-hand, in-depth look into Chilli's personality at this point in her life. And what I can say is that Chilli is very particular and opinionated. Oftentimes, her requirements seemed a bit excessive.
He has to be super fine his neck down. He has to have a great sense of humor, sensitive, very charming, no gut, washboard stomach. That's a 6-pack. I would settle for a 4 because we can work on 2 more, but he can't drink, he can't smoke, he can't eat pork. He has to believe in God. He has to love kids. No more than 2 baby mamas.
So is that all? Is that all in the Chilli's checklist?
A very, very important part, he has to be packing. Can't be like a little tiny dude.
But how big we talking though?
Huge.
Also, I love this one. He has to be packing, and I'm sure that don't mean luggage.
You know that sand, it's not the size of the boat, but the motion of the ocean? Well, it is the size of the boat. I want a yacht.
You want a yacht?
I want a yacht.
He can't eat pork.
I don't eat pork.
I think there goes the black and Mexicans out of the...
Now, does that make me picky? Well, my friends think so.
Date Jesus.
The general consensus from the public was that Chilli was too picky, but in Chilli's mind, she wanted a man tailor-made for her, and she surpassed a certain level of status where it was like, hey, with my resources, ain't no reason why I shouldn't be able to find him. But her dating coach tried to get her to be more realistic, and as much as they loved each other, even their personalities would clash.
I'm gonna adapt your lifestyle. I only been around you a month. Wait, let me finish.
Okay.
I only been around you a month, and I'm changing away my eating because I'm looking at how you get down like, damn, this bitch a little older than me, and she's popping.
I know that's the New York lingo, but please do not say that.
You can't control how I speak. This is how I talk. That's what I'm trying to say.
Are you trying to control me to make me understand that you can be a bitch or whatever and that kind of? I'm just asking you to don't say that. Why didn't it click in your brain and say, she might like Bill?
I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it as I brought a guy in already.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't look at it like that.
Why were you
surprised? I'm surprised.
Why?
I mean, are you're the love expert? Aren't you? Are you not? I mean, it makes me really question.
You enjoy the rest of your day.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious. Have a nice life, Chilli.
Serious?
I like you as a person, but to work with you, this is not
You
gonna
just
work.
be quiet for a second.
No, I don't have to be quiet.
No,
Why do I need to be quiet?
Because look. Okay, well, calm down. I've been frustrated too.
I'm ready to
Okay.
hit a nerve.
All right.
It seemed like the more they tried to pressure Chilli into dating men that she didn't care for, the more she enforced her list.
I didn't make the team.
It's probably those drinks. I think you should try to work on that drinking.
That's cool. If I ever get to know you, maybe I can tell you the problems you can probably work on too. So.
However, the more organic things were, the more items from that list she would overlook.
In religion, I am nothing without it. I mean, it is my foundation. But Darren, on the other hand, doesn't necessarily seem to be on the same path. Would you convert?
That's a lot. You sneak that in on.
Either way, it made for some good TV, and snippets of her unreleased music would play throughout many of the show's episodes. But out of all the men, the biggest star on the show was Floyd Mayweather, who was her friend, but tried to push up on her, fronting like he wanted more, only for him to stand her up in the first season and fall asleep on her in the second season. The series also featured Chilli's brother and father, whose relationship with his kids had become somewhat estranged.
Dear Daddy, Though you weren't in the early years of my life, I am glad that I found you. But I have to say that I truly wish you would keep your word. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy to see you. I am. But we have not seen each other in 5 years.
You know, you told me when I first met you, you said, Dad, I don't like Jersey. But if I'm in Jersey, you can't come see me? That's where I live.
Okay, but Daddy, I'm not on the phone with you saying I'm coming and I don't show up. You know.
But that could have boosted our relationship. If you had done that.
What would make me even want to be anxious to come is if our relationship had been really consistent over the years, because you tell me one thing and it doesn't happen, then it kind of makes me feel like, well, whatever.
The show ran for 2 seasons without any long-lasting love for Chilli, and it almost seemed as though Chilli didn't know what she wanted, but it was apparent that she didn't want marriage.
I would like to be in a committed relationship, but I don't want to get married.
Really?
I'll never say never, but I don't really think that's something I really want to do. Marriage scares me. It's so for so many reasons.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, so I'd prefer to just be in a committed relationship.
You just want to get it on.
Hey, stop it.
I'm just asking a woman.
I want to have my own house still. You have your own house. We're committed.
Yeah, I hear you.
I know that I will forever be more of a mother than anything, even more than a wife. I just know.
Bottom line, Chilli was in her zone. She had her comforts, her control, and her routine, and you had to be pretty amazing if you think you were going to come in and change any of that. She would then appear on the show Single Ladies, where her character is on the hunt for a good man, and on the show she performed a song called Flirt from her unreleased studio sessions. At one point she became a meme of the successful black woman archetype, with the first part of the joke sound stereotypical, only for the latter half of the joke to turn out wholesome, making the viewer feel silly for assuming the punchline. In 2012, she appeared as the leading lady in Tyrese's music video for his single, Nothing on You. She started a non-profit organization called Chilli's Crew, an Atlanta-based program focused in helping girls between the ages of 13 and 17 build healthy levels of self-esteem. As a previous victim of bullying, she felt a calling to help those in similar situations. Her son would also fall victim to cyberbullying when Media Takeout targeted his choice in his apparel, and made very offensive statements and assumptions about him as an individual based solely on how he dressed. And because he was still a minor at the time, Chilli created a petition through change.org to get the article deleted from the site and to stop staff members from gossiping about minors entirely. In her petition, she described what cyberbullying is and showcased statistics about some of the victims. The site ended up removing the article and issuing an apology to Tron. Mama Bear don't play about hers. Now go sit down and don't let it happen again. Now around this time, the remaining members of TLC went on to create their official biopic titled Crazy Sexy Cool, the TLC Story, for VH1, detailing their careers and all its ups and downs. T-Boz and Chilli were 100% hands-on with the writing, production, and casting process, which was very therapeutic for them, though initially Chilli's pickiness led to her character being the last one chosen.
I had the hardest time trying to find somebody to play me. It was so difficult. And Keke Palmer actually reached out to VH1. I didn't even know she was a fan like that, you know, because I'm a huge fan of hers. I was like, she's Keke Palmer. I want somebody that's not known, you know what I mean? And couldn't find anybody, but, you know, and she did a great job as well.
But she ended up loving the movie and promoted it every chance she got. It went on to become VH1's highest rated original film that year and inspired an array of biopics from other hip-hop and R&B artists that followed. Later that year, she would appear on the second season of Food Network's Rachel vs. Guy Celebrity Cook-Off, followed by an appearance on the WWE Countdown, where she spoke about The Rock. She became a judge for True TV's reality series, Fake Off. She would also pose for a PETA anti-circus ad campaign. And going into the mid-2010s, Chilli also began promoting healthy eating habits and fitness programs after always being asked about her diet and skincare regimens. She started doing what her band member Lisa Left Eye was doing 15 years prior, being on the health tip and trying to inspire others to eat clean. Chilli even began wearing them bandanas the way that Lisa used to. She would team up with Size in 2016 for a full Next Level workout from Beachbody program, which also included an original workout song called Body that Chilli performed with the help of her team. This new song by Chilli aimed to inspire you to work out 24/7 to get that perfect body you've always wanted. This to me was Chilli's best solo song, with lyrics that went, anything you want, anything you need, you gotta work for it. Anything you see, anything you want to be, you gotta put in work for it. Don't give up, you gotta believe, you gotta work for it. I want y'all to go check that song out. I love Chilli's vocals, the music, all of it. Now Chilli would pair up with popular fitness trainer Shaun T for a DVD where they work out to the song. But for me personally, because this song is more mid-tempo, I like to listen to it during the cool down portion of my workout. In promotion for the song and its workout program, Chilli would also appear at Ms Chilli-Bean and put together a dance class where fans could dance with her and get health and fitness tips. And I had to pull up to that myself, and it was an amazing experience, being able to see her, dance with her, and even meet with her after. Chilli loved helping people get their fitness and diets together, and if you caught Chilli in the store and asked her for a photo, there was a likelihood that she'd take a look at your shopping cart and say, hey, in exchange for a pic, I'm gonna take you down this aisle and show you a few healthier alternatives to what you got in here. And much like Left Eye had planned to do a film show called Chef Eye, Chilli began working on her own healthy cooking show called Fix My Plate, which featured her helping some of her industry friends change some of their unhealthy cooking habits and finding alternative and healthier ways to cook. Chilli would return to acting, appearing alongside the late Chadwick Boseman in the 2017 historical legal drama film Marshall. Chilli played the role of Zora Neale Hurston, who was a well-known and accomplished writer of African American literature during the Harlem Renaissance. In 2019, she entered reality TV for the third time, this time partnering with Lil' Kim, Maya, B. Simone, Pretty V, among others, for a 10-day girls' cruise through the high seas of the Caribbean. The women went on a journey of self-exploration and sisterhood. Chilli was highly revered due to all of her accomplishments, and naturally adapted into the mama bear role, who everyone looked up to. She was the conservative member of the group, wearing modest clothing, taking H2O shots because she didn't drink alcohol, and making sure to avoid other substances along with avoiding all added sugars and preservatives. But as controlled as she kept her life in the past several years, she had to relinquish some of that comfort on this trip and face her fears, which took some time. You got to see her sensitive side come out, as she was more open and transparent. But then you also got to see her mothering side come out, as many of the cast members who didn't have good relationships with their own mothers clung to Chilli, and she even encouraged them to rekindle their relationships. As the days went on, she slowly let go of her need to control every aspect in her life. This experience, which took place over her 48th birthday, gave her a new perspective on things. Girls Cruise would go on to win the Best Entertainment Show of the Year at the 2019 National Film and Television Awards USA, and Chilli kept in touch with her newfound friends and even attended one of their weddings. In the summer of 2019, Chilli uploaded a video of her and her background dancers killing a dance routine to her son Tron's new song called Captions. By now, Tron was all grown up and releasing his own music on the Tron Music label that his mother set up all those years ago. Her dance video went viral and inspired the Captions Challenge, where dancers would upload videos of themselves doing the dance. Throughout the COVID era, Chilli would upload dance videos online regularly, encouraging people to stay active as much as they could with everything going on. But for all of her success, her heart was still very lonely, even amidst her celibacy journey. For years she hinted that Usher was her soulmate, but that the timing just wasn't right. But in 2022, she met fellow Boy Meets World actor Matthew Lawrence in passing at 90s Con. After some initial attraction and more conversation, the two began dating and have been inseparable ever since.
I honestly did not think that the the perfect guy for me, including imperfections. You know, no one's perfect, only the Lord. But I have a long list, and he bring to the table. You know, I mean, he had the God-fearing part, and I mean the list goes on. It's so long, and he checks off. He checks off, and it's just, he has the most purest, genuine heart in someone I've ever met. I love his mom. We're in love. So I'm like, I'm so happy you had him.
People love seeing them together, but Chilli did get some blowback because they were an interracial couple. She told People magazine, if people of different races hadn't gotten together, I wouldn't be here. That's how I see it. She went on to say that they don't see color and that they're American. Their commonalities come from being family-oriented and faith-driven. Both his mother and her mother clicked and became good friends as well, and everyone pretty much got along, according to Chilli. She uploaded several dance videos with him and his people, as well as ones with him, her, and T-Boz. All appears to be going well with them going into their 3rd year together. But some folk online cautioned her about not having the race talk, as they didn't want her or him to be blindsided should they encounter any bigotry. But Chilli was fearless on that aspect because it couldn't be anything worse than anything she had already heard in the past. She said, "When you're seasoned like we both are, it doesn't take that long to figure out a person. We want to protect our love, nurture it, and grow it, point blank." Now this next segment might be triggering for some, but I encourage you to look at it with an open mind, as I'll be explaining things from what I believe to be Chilli's point of view, and then from the point of view that many black people on social media had. Now, as a celebrity in black American culture, you are expected to be on code, having a certain perspective on any given topic regarding race, and that perspective must align with the general consensus of black American social media users. But Chilli deviated from this code many a time, as she is her own person with her own thoughts and feelings, and will speak her mind regardless of whatever the agreed upon outlook is, much to the dismay of many TLC fans. When TLC geared up to put out their last album in 2017, in interviews they were asked what they thought about the political climate and protests regarding the demises of unarmed black people at the hands of law enforcement.
I didn't go into any marches or anything like that, but for me, all lives matter. You know what I mean? Because there's a time when, different groups are targeted for, different things. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that just the whole, what happened, even, with the against these young black boys and stuff like that, and all of that kind of stuff is wrong, and even if it was, a Caucasian teen kid that this was happening to or whatever, it's just not right, and some people take that authoritative position and go crazy with it, obviously, and I think that before people are higher in these positions, they need to do like some kind of better background check or mental stability kind of, check on them to see if they can really handle being in a position like that.
In this moment, Chilli was aiming to be all-inclusive, but her usage of the ALM slogan rubbed a lot of people the wrong way and came across as dismissive, since she was a celebrity and wasn't quote-unquote out there on the front lines. So she don't know. And if she thinks she's getting We the People support for that new album, she can think again. People said that she should let all lives buy it. And the album, which was funded by Kickstarter, largely underperformed. Chilli also went under fire when she encouraged women, especially women of color, to not be so closed-minded when it came to love. She said, "God made all of us, and you might not find your husband because you're trying to stick to one racial group. You've got to be open. You want the person who's the best person for you, no matter what color he is." Seemed fair enough, but this statement really upset a lot of black men who interpreted it as her giving the women permission to basically leave us in the dust. But it's really been a stance she's had her whole life. Of course she's dated the brothers, but also, as a woman of multiracial ancestry, she was always the most likely out of TLC to date a man of another race.
The most desirable male category. Tom Cruise, Andy Garcia, Brad Pitt, Keanu Reeves, and Christian Slater.
Brad Pitt and Andy Garcia, but we gotta pick one, right?
Yeah, we gotta pick one.
Andy Garcia. I'm sorry, that's my man. I like Brad Pitt, he's fine too, but Andy, baby, are you married? I'm 24, I mean, you know what I'm saying? We do that young, older thing, you know what I'm saying?
People then pointed out that though Floyd Mayweather was the most memorable man on her reality dating show, to those of us who actually watched it thoroughly, we know that the top 3 finalists in both seasons were all white men, much to the dismay of her dating coach.
You don't like the brothers no more.
You know what? Come on. I like black guys. I like all guys.
I see you white black, but it don't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't have that against black men.
Yes, you do.
They're just not my type.
Okay, then. But they're all my type. Don't put yourself in a box. Black men don't do that.
That's true.
They date whomever they want to. And so do white women, right? You see a white woman with Indian, black, it doesn't matter. Right. So why should,
the black women have to settle?
Men are men. You just want a great one.
Chilli would also be accused of texturism. Yes, some of those kids who felt that Chilli thought she was better than everybody else for her silky smooth hair texture grew to resent her even more for it, They pointed out how in past specials, she took note of men with similar hair textures.
Does hair matter to you on a guy? I like the S curl.
I don't.
And your juices and berries. He's in his sex mode. You know, they ain't nothing but an ultra perm.
Oh, now berries and ultra perm.
This is my natural hair.
Jerry juice.
Excuse me, I didn't mean to drip on you.
Though she liked all types, she also had a thing for pretty boys with looser hair textures, which was instead interpreted as, oh, you hate men with more coily afro textures, huh? Just a whole lot of projection going on.
Because a lot of people look at texture and think that's what's pretty. To me, that's not it. It's the state of health that the hair is in, you know, no split ends, looking full and shiny and just able to grow healthy. That's beautiful hair to me.
Where there was texturism, there was colorism accusations. After she posted a dancing video with Matthew where they were killing it, and someone commented, okay Matthew, see he done got him some chocolate, now he got some moves, I approve. And Chilli was quick to correct her, saying caramel. Oh man, people lit into her, claiming that she was delusional and thinking she's above being chocolate. Others said that caramel fit more of Left Eye than it did Chilli. But Chilli doubled down on her statement, saying, chocolate is beautiful, I never said it wasn't. But without a tan, I'm caramel. What's the harm in being truthful? Good grief. Now, when you look at pictures of Chilli over the years, you'll see that there were times where she looked as if she was right about the same skin shade as her other group members. But most other times, she was darker. And it was common knowledge out of everyone that she was the most melanated member of the group. Even with her having mixed ancestry, for the most part, she was the darkest. And as I've stated before, she was branded as the most alluring. And this happened at a time where if there was ever a group of black girls in popular media, typically the lighter ones were often placed on that pedestal. So in the 90s and 2000s, a lot of the brown skin and darker skin girls gravitated towards Chilli and saw representation in her. All you had to do was get you some hair gel and toothbrush, lay them edges down, and you too could bask in the lane that Chilli opened for so many brown skin girls to be that sensational member of your posse.
I want to say, girl, Chilli, you brought baby hair. Your baby hair inspired me. Baby hair made your baby hair made the world go round, girl. Sisters will get that.
So a lot of them who spent many years idolizing her felt alienated in that moment when she went out of her way to make the distinction. Some of them saw it as her way of saying, I'm not you, I'm lighter. But in Chilli's defense, from day one, she was ousted and ostracized between kids and even her own family members. It was embedded in her mind that she was different. Not better than anybody else, to be clear, but different. So in her mind, there are only a select few that she could truly identify with. But make no mistake, she didn't see herself as light-skinned neither, and went out of her way to make that distinction in a Sister to Sister article, where she flat out said, I'm not light-skinned. I got long hair, but I ain't light-skinned. Just wanted to clear that up. Now the magazine's creator, Jamie Foster Brown, said, what's wrong with being light-skinned? And Chilli replied, I ain't saying nothing's wrong with it, but why can't you be brown-skinned and get problems too? You know how people stereotype everything. Basically dispelling the popular belief that only light-skinned kids are subjected to biracial hatred. So she knows she's not light-skinned, she was simply being specific to her skin tone. If you compliment her, she wants you to get it right. And her skin tone does fluctuate throughout the year, as does many of ours. And as diverse as our colors are, depending on who you ask, caramel doesn't equal light skin. For many, caramel serves as an in-between. Meanwhile, for some others, chocolate doesn't mean dark skin. Yeah, I've heard that before. If you really get into the skin tone or hair texture semantics, you'll be all day. But at the end of the day, Chilli is not a colorist. She never put anyone down or called them less than for their skin tones. But the hate didn't stop there. Her son Tron went on to marry Jung Ah Wang, and together they welcomed a beautiful baby girl this past year, making Chilli a grandmother. And while they were happy to share the news with several media outlets, and Chilli was just overjoyed with such happy emotions, many people just wouldn't let them be great. They flooded Tron's IG page with hate comments, claiming that the family abandoned their black roots, and that the whole family must think that they're better than everybody else. Tron would turn off the comments, and it was unfortunate for Chilli seeing her son and grandbaby be subjected to those same hurtful words that were all too familiar to her growing up. Still, Chilli has her happy in everything that God has blessed her with. And in more recent years, she's been vocal on her social media accounts about her faith and her life as an Adventist, sharing quotes and inspirational messages to her many followers. She has since changed her views on marriage.
Do you still have that fear of marriage that you had?
I do not. I don't have
any fear at all when it comes to him. It is just the way he is as a man, you know. He is a good guy. He has an amazing heart.
Today, Chilli lives an abundant life with her man and being close with her family. She still tours with her group member T-Boz around the world every now and again, and still takes time out to spread the word about healthy eating, staying physically active, and most importantly, keeping God first. She's got a new clothing line.
All things godly.
In 2025,
Yes.
what can we expect for that?
People love hoodies and t-shirts, and you know, what better way to put some scripture, you know, on a hoodie, because maybe that's the only scripture that somebody might see, and it may encourage them to pick up a Bible and read or whatever.
We look forward to seeing just what more is in store for Chilli. I hope you all enjoyed this documentary, and be on the lookout for more TLC related content coming soon. This is Justified by Jury. Y'all know how to hit that like, and y'all know how to hit that subscribe. If you want to, do so. And I'ma catch y'all in the next video.